The definition of horror is different for everybody, but one thing that every person can certainly agree upon is the reality that the closer, furthermore, the more concrete something is, the more horrifying it can become. A ghost, or a ghoul, will not be as terrifying as something that you can personally associate with. The fears of the mind are much worse than any kind of horrors that we might come across in the dark corners of our rooms, and the movies that catch these feelings are the ones that succeed in making their mark on us. Relic uses such a suggestion exceptionally to its advantage, as well as provides a motion picture that not only offers you fascinating jump scares, however additionally offers you a whole lot to think of in your mortal existence. And that's exactly what Relic does, when Kay and her daughter Sam return to her hometown to search for her mother Edna, that has actually not been seen, as well as hasn't been in contact with any person for a few days. When Kay as well as Sam do not locate Edna at her residence, which is decomposing from all sides, they file a missing persons report, and also a search party is sent to try to find Edna. Remarkably, she is discovered in her residence 3 days following the report without recollection of where she has actually been and what has happened to her. While her return alleviates the fears her child and granddaughter had, all of it points to creepier and more sinister things happening around the house. After finding out about the happening with Jamie, where he was locked in the wardrobe by Edna,
he was trapped in that cupboard for hours. When he didn't come home, I went over there to check on him, and Edna said she hadn't seen him. But I could hear him screaming from upstairs. He had paint under his fingernails just from scratching the door.
Sam decides to look deeper inside the storage room herself. Edna had previously stated that the burglar she had been frightened by possibly could have found his way in through the closet, which leads her to dig even deeper within. Uncovering that the closet is larger than it appears, as well as after going through several turns, she discovers herself lost inside. At the same time, Kay witnesses unusual signs in her mother, and also at some point discovers that her mother is not the exact same person anymore. After she is assaulted by the entity, she runs for security.
Mom? Mom, please, can we go back now? Oh! Oh!
You're not Kay.
Oh!
I don't know you.
No! No!
This reunites her with Sam. After a brief encounter with Edna, the two manage to run away and recognize whatever Edna has actually come to be, and make their way out of the house. While Sam demands escaping, Kay tells her that she can't leave her mom alone.
I can't leave her. What? Please tell me I'm not bad anymore.
She returns inside the home, and takes Edna into the bedroom. As she undresses her, she sees that her mother's skin is peeling away. She removes all of the skin, and reveals the weird decayed being left before her. Sam also comes inside to witness the change of her grandma. They exist with each other side by side, as well as Sam notices a black swelling, similar to the ones on Edna's body, on Kay's back. The essence of Relic lies in family, love, and fatality. The motion picture uses the idea of a health problem to produce the horror that compels the target audience to look within, instead of outside themselves. The frightening beasts do not hide in the shadows of the area, however, instead inside one's mind. In this movie, that beast, if you really intend to determine it, is mental deterioration. You could likewise see this from the lens of old age, death, isolation, or Alzheimer's. The movie relies on being very transparent in its perception, enabling you to draw from your very own opinions, based upon your very own experiences. It can be one of those sensations, or every one of them, and also it would certainly still make sense from every angle. The title of the movie appropriately conveys the sum of the last scene. It tells us that no matter what we perform in our lives, all of us ultimately wind up at the very same time and space, as well as what remains of us is the relic of all the things we once were. This is what becomes of Edna in the long run. After the death of her other half, her wellness deteriorates, falling further into the pit of old age and dementia. The festering rot inside this home is a depiction of the deteriorating of Edna's brain. In that understanding, the storage room comes to be the part of her brain that houses those memories. It is stuffed with all packages, gifts, picture albums, and whatever else that Edna has gathered throughout her life. These things are the remnants of the life she once had, Now all of that is locked away inside the closet. The scene with Sam going much deeper inside the storage room and also getting stuck within is a depiction of her falling under the pile of all things that her grandmother has forgotten. In the final half hour of the film, Edna becomes a monster that pursues her own daughter. This suggests that her memories are completely lost, and also as that happens, we see the walls surrounding Sam inside the storage room. Rewind into the earlier 50% of the movie, and we locate Edna attempting to hold on to these memories. She consumes the photos as well as buries the images, desiring instead to bury herself to security since she is afraid of the evil-minded entity within the walls. She determines, by doing this, she would be saving these memories. However, that does not take place. One way or another, she is to lose them all, and herself in addition to it. A person is nothing without their memories, and that's what becomes of Edna in the end, when she actually has completely forgotten all those moments, as well as it remains in this stage that she appears a beast to her daughter and granddaughter. This particular moment in the film strikes so near home for the viewer that we are compelled to reconsider how we ourselves actually consider old people to be. As they shed touch from reality and also, or even worse, from themselves, they end up becoming liabilities to the people around them. They become unwanted and also are viewed as monsters that will damage you if they touch you. In such situations, they are often abandoned by the individuals, even those who cared and loved for them the most. The final scene of this movie conveys this and the relevance and demand, even if unwanted, of staying. All the horror that goes on inside your house is happening in Edna's brain too. She feels her mind slipping from her grasp, and she really feels the walls surrounding caving in, as her priceless memories wither away. In addition to that, the desertion by her daughter, who wishes to place her in a treatment residence, makes her lose her mind even more. In any other film, fleeing would certainly have indicated the unfortunate desertion of an elderly person and then them passing away all alone in their home, as additionally, this is what happened to Kay's uncle that had actually passed away in the cabin. Yet this is none other film. Kay ultimately comprehends that regardless of what Edna ends up being, as a result of her age or condition, she is still her mom, as well as she still needs to care for her. So, rather than surrendering, she decides to remain and also be there for her until the end. She is not disgusted, or reviled, or horrified, or even afraid of the last thing that her mother becomes, as soon as all her layers are shed away. She accepts her, along with the reality that this is the inevitability of life. The rot appearing on her as seen by Sam, gives more standing to this concept. Death, as well as disease, will come for all of us. However, we can pick not to desert those struggling with it. As well as, subsequently, hope that we will be taken care in turn. So tell me, what did you think of Relic? Comment below, and let me know your thoughts on this thought-provoking film. And if you like this video, as always, click that subscribe button, and join the Movie Cranks.